It can be really frustrating not getting opens on your emails. You need those clicks to drive conversions and revenue in your campaigns. In this video, I've collected 10 proven subject lines that'll ensure that your emails get the attention they deserve. Whether you're working on intrigue or creating a sense of urgency or using emotion to personalize your subject lines even better, this list is really going to be a great help. So let's get started on these 10 subject lines that are going to help you get better open rates, better conversions, and better results in your email marketing. Okay, here's subject line number 1. This is the product that all of our customers use and it changes everything. This subject line is great because it's got a ton of intrigue baked into it. It also sits in what I would call an area of copywriting that implies social proof. The subject line clearly says that other customers are happy with this product and that it's super successful in their lives. The only way that somebody's going to find out what it is, of course, is to open your email, which is exactly what we want the subject line to do. And this one is going to be easy to use for services as well. You can simply just change product to service in that copy. So this is the service that all of our customers love and it's changing everything. So you could use that either way, and you can certainly put any product you want in the body content of your email. Subject line number 2, when our customers do this one thing, results skyrocket. Now, when I think of this subject line, I can think of lots of businesses it works for. One that pops to my mind is like a fitness type of email or health and wellness or anything like that would be great for this. But you certainly could use it for any sort of product or services. Again, like subject line number 1, this one also implies some social proof and that other customers are having great results. And it's baked with intrigue and, of course, drives those open rates because the only way to figure out what it is by opening the email. So you can put anything you want into the body content underneath this. It's plug and play for any type of product or service that you may have. Subject line number 3 reads, one of our customers did this and wow, capital letters. Now, I love this subject line because it sets up your body content to be a story and people love stories. So this one tees up your ability to write a little narrative or story or customer testimonial or anything like that that's going to sell your product or service in a really effective way. So if you're not using stories, this is your opportunity, and this subject line hits hard. And again, like the first two, in order to get the story and learn what happened, they got to open your email. Subject line number 4 is list-based, and it reads just like this. 5 trends our customers are taking advantage of. Now, what's great about this subject line is, 1, it gives you the opportunity to come up with, you can make that number anything, 3, 5, 7, some sort of odd number about your product or service and what's happening with your customers as it relates. People love lists because it sets their expectations about what they're going to read. And if it's in, like a smaller number, 5 or 6 or whatever, the reader knows what they're getting into. So it really is a great way to frame up what you're offering within the body content of the email. And again, this one's cooked with intrigue because in order to get the list and get these, tips and so forth, they got to open your email and read down. Just like the other ones I've given you, this one certainly is plug and play for both products and services. So you can use it either way. Subject line number 5, this one's right from the book of classics. It reads, going, gone, - don't miss this, right? So a couple of things going on with this that are important to know. We don't say what they're going to miss, so they have to open the email to figure that out, right? And that's one of our critical ingredients with all of these. This one kind of is steeped in marketing history. Going, gone. It's kind of like a cliche, but it's pop, pop, pop. It sticks out in the inbox, and it's very much resonates that it's hot and timely, right? So we promised you a couple of subject lines that we're going to all be working around urgency, and this is exactly that. So anytime you can use urgency, you're going to be able to drive some open rates and potentially knock loose some people that are kind of on the edge of converting into your product or service. So that's exactly what this subject line tactically is designed to do, and is a really good one to follow up with some of the other ones that we covered earlier in the video. Okay, subject line number 6, last call. These 5 styles are almost sold out. This could work for any industry. You could just change it to styles. You could change it to these appointments are almost booked. These services are almost sold, right? Either way though, you're saying last call, so you're letting people know that we have an urgency situation. If they were interested, this is their time to take action, right? Because that's the point of an urgency email, is to knock people over the edge and get them to convert. And we've also done something here which is nice, which was we've overtly stated some scarcity, right? So scarcity is a function of urgency. Urgency has many facets. One is time, like before Friday, right? That's timeline urgency. Scarcity is another variant of urgency that you can employ in your subject lines. And this is a great example of that. Subject line number 7, reservations are booking fast, act now. This one we would typically use like in a continuum of several messages and to ramp urgency within a series of subject lines, right? So we would do, as an example, just to play off exactly how this reads, we'd probably have like an event announcement, and then we would have it, reservations are open. Then we would throw this one in here. Reservations are booking fast, right? So then we were ramping urgency in that inbox. Works really well in a series. This one doesn't play very well if you just throw it cold out into somebody's inbox and there isn't any other previous messages, but it does work well to work into a series and get people, to finally make a commitment and get that reservation done. So this one just straight up positioning the urgency where the user or reader doesn't know who they're competing against. And that's another really fun one to use in your urgency-based messaging, is to give the reader something to compete against that they don't know if they're winning and losing without taking action. They don't know how many reservations are available by the subject line. They don't know how many people have booked by the subject line. They just know that we said that it's happening fast, right? So the psychology of that is they better do something fast as well or lose out, right? So remember that when you're creating urgency, another function is to make the reader compete against an unknown foe to get what they want. Go ahead and try that on your next one. Subject line number 8 reads, these items won't last through today. Couple of things going on here. One, in this one, we've given people an actual timeline that they know of, right? It's today. Now, if you send it in the morning, that's great because it's just a really close urgency timeline. The window is closing rapidly. The downside of this one is, some people get distracted and they won't take action. So sometimes on something like this, we actually will double tap this email 8 a.m. and then again at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and do 2 sends and try to really knock some conversions loose, which is totally okay to do when you're doing it this way, because you're being helpful to your list and making sure that anybody that wanted the item has the opportunity to get it before you run out at the end of the day. All right. Subject line number 9 reads, if you miss this batch, availability will be in 2025. Now, this one is actually got urgency, but it's urgency through a takeaway strategy, right? We're basically saying, if you don't do something right now, we're going to take this deal away until next year and you're completely going to be closed out. Now, it plays on some psychology that people don't want to miss out. It's just kind of natural human wiring. Takeaway psychology is classic, like car salesmanship. You see this in all sorts of sales training. Taking stuff off the table always pulls people into the deal further. So this subject line does exactly that. It's a pull away strategy. And in doing the pull away, you create urgency and hopefully going to knock some conversions lists out of your list. Number 10, top 3 recommendations for, and I put name there, but it could be top 3 recommendations for Jennifer. Now, you have to have a decent CRM here where you can do a mail merge or a data token of first name into the subject line. So you're going to need a little bit of technical stuff there. But if you can get the person's name into the subject line, you can do a lot more with all of what we've discussed today. And this is a great example. Somebody loves that you've done a little bit of work for them by giving them the top 3 recommendations. And it's tailored for them personally. So you got a good likelihood that you're going to get some good open rates out of this. And again, they've got some intrigue to this along with the personalization and relevancy because they can't not open it. You know, if they want the 3 recommendations, they got to open the email, right? So this is a great one, and you could use it, services, products, anything underneath in the body content of the email. I promise you guys one thing that you cannot forget, that every one of these subject lines and all of your subject lines should have in the framework of the subject line. Every subject line should leave a question in the reader's mind that can only be answered by opening your email. If you read your subject line and the answer is in the subject line, it's a fail, throw it away, because it's not going to get open because you just gave the person the information right in their inbox in the preview. So always structure your subject line to leave the reader with a question that must be answered only by clicking the open on your email. All right, now that I've given you all these plug and play subject lines, I'll tell you, there is more that we need to know to be a good copywriter, a good marketer, and specifically a good email marketer, which is why I put together even more videos on these topics to help you drive conversions, get better results with your email marketing, and drive revenue.